Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Tips to Top the Unofficial Bar. Today I have with me a very senior lawyer, Mr. Arulpragasam, and he's going to share with us tips to top the unofficial bar. Sir, first of all, tell us, we would like to hear from you the beginning of your professional career. You are now over 30 years in the profession. Would you like to share about your professional career at the early beginning and the life you spent in the law college?
Well, I entered law college in the year 1977 and I passed out as a lawyer in the year 26th of September 1980. Now it's exactly, or rather almost 33 years in the career. And the interesting thing about my career, what I like to say, is being a Tamil, I studied in Sinhala medium and I topped the batch in all 3 years.
All 3 years? That's a very good thing to hear. So, in the beginning of your professional career, under whom you went for the apprenticeship?
Although I got first class honours and topped the batch in all 3 years, I knew I'm academically fine, but I'm not professionally thorough. So therefore, I thought to commence my career as an instructing attorney, and I worked in a firm called Medhar and Ramanathan firm.
So when you come to the profession, you had in your mind that you will be doing work as an instructing attorney? Or?
Well, it's purely by a luck or accident or fortune I became a lawyer. It was not my passion at all. Actually, my grandparents and my mother's intention was I'm a Roman Catholic, to be a priest.
I see.
And I got a call to join the seminary as well as to the law college on the very same day. Much against the wishes of my parents, I opted to do law. And I'm glad that I did law. Of course, I'm a very good Catholic too, but I'm doing the same thing as a Christian. I'm practicing my law.
Exactly. Sir, now you are very famous as a registered attorney, but at the same time, you used to appear as a counsel in the court whenever the requirement is there. Can you tell us how do you? Because typically those are two roles. But you play both roles whenever demanded.
Yes. What happened was, although I passed out as a lawyer far back from 1980, from the year 1980 till the year 1983, I worked in a firm, as I told you earlier. Thereafter, what I did was I did counseling. I worked as a counsel. I got the opportunity to work under very eminent counsel. To give few names, A.C. Punratna Queen's Counsel, Dr. Colina De Silva, H.W. Jayawardena, Dr. Navaratna Raja, Mahesh Kanagosundaram. So I got an opportunity to work under them. And if you look at my old new law reports, like a famous case called Hotel Galaxy, where I was a second or third junior counsel to Dr. Colina De Silva. And also the famous case we studied for in regard to customary marriage, I got the opportunity to be a junior counsel to a famous lawyer called Dr. Jacqueline Senviratna, opposed to Dr. Colina De Silva. So if you look at the new law report from 83 to 1990, my name appears as one of the junior counsel. So it's not a new thing to me, but as you know, the legal profession up from the after 1974, there are no proctors advocate, all attorneys at law. But however, some of the people who passed out after 74, calling themselves proctors and running officers and doing deed work. Some of themselves calling advocates and also calling themselves counsel and only arguing the cases. But strictly speaking, all are attorneys at law.
Exactly.
So therefore, you see, there are no two branches of the profession, it's one branch. The old system, some people still follow.
Exactly. Right. I'm sure, sir, with this 33 years of experience in the profession, you must have had number of experience that some of which may be unforgettable memories on your life, from which others can learn, particularly the law students and young lawyers. Would you like to share with us some of those experience?
Yes, I like to. I think the most horrified and the scary incident is where I represented my dear friend and a colleague, my dear friend and a family friend, Mr. Ravi Karnanayaka. Although I'm a civil lawyer, one particular day I suddenly got a call from his residence, said that police have come to arrest him. Without knowing what exactly happening, I walked into the place and I explained to him that if there is a warrant as a law-abiding citizen, that he must go with the police. If there is no warrant, the police must go out of the place. So when I did my part as a lawyer, although I'm not a criminal lawyer, I'm only a civil lawyer, I explained this position to the police. The police was kind enough to go, and the resulting position was they filed a B report against me in the magistrate court to charge me for obstructing the police. Of course, I must be ever grateful to Mr. Ikram Mohammed, who was the president of the bar, as well as Mrs. Anamugunathilik, who was the secretary of the Bar Association. They took a firm decision and passed a resolution not to appear for police any hereafter until my matter is resolved. So the representation was made to the IGP as well as the Honorable Attorney General, and finally the court also came to the conclusion that I perform my duty as a lawyer. I have not had anything excessive. I was exonerated, and not only that, I was complimented and praised the magistrate as well as the entire bar. So I think I risked my career because I successfully ended up and I saved my court. If I have failed, I would have gone behind bars. I think that's the most unforgettable memory in my life as a professional. And I think I hope and wish no professional should face that situation.
In fact, I think, sir, that particular incident opened eyes of the police as well as the profession, because you played the role of a lawyer as a professional. You played the role, plus you showed that the limits of the law, and you expressed that everyone respect the law. So that was like a deciding incident, and it gave a lesson to everyone in the country that if you are going to arrest a person, you should have a arrest warrant. Plus you were performing the profession, or you were nothing personal related to you. So that was one of the famous things even we learned when we were taught about bail and arrest, those topics.
And in fact, just to interrupt you, that's a landmark judgment today given by the Court of Appeal as well as the Supreme Court in regard to anticipatory bail. And that's the law. I think virtually that's the law of the land in regard to the anticipatory bail. And with that connected other cases, Kamal Suneth Perera's case, but this is the landmark case where they went through the idea behind the legislation of granting anticipatory bail. Actually, the anticipatory bail concept came from India, because India, so many politicians were arrested for no rhyme or reason. So India is the country who introduced this anticipatory bail. Same bail act was followed. Here, when they analyzing the case, I could remember Justice Sri Raja, in fact, got the Hansard from the Parliament to see what was the intention behind the legislation to pass this one. So it was clearly proved bail is a normal theory and not granting is an exception.
Yes. So that is the current position. Yes. So now, to success as a registered attorney or instructing attorney, to come to level that you are in, I'm sure you have different attributes or your unique pattern of dealing with the counsels and dealing with clients and responding to courts, because we know that you have more responsibility as a registered attorney than a counsel on a particular case, because if something went wrong from the professional side, you are responsible for the case. Can you tell us some of your secrets behind your professional success, when particularly dealing with clients and dealing with counsels?
The basic thing is, you see, when a client is coming to you, whatever capacity, as a counsel or instructing attorney to consult you have to understand, client is yours. You have a right to hire and fire a counsel, but the client is yours. So what's happening, the tragedy today is most of the instructing attorneys, I'm sorry to say that, they're photocopying instructing attorneys. When a client is coming and giving instruction to you, what they do is simply photocopy the brief, or rather the case, handing over to the counsel, and the client feels, the instructing attorney feels, it's a job of the counsel, and they are not doing anything. As far as I am concerned, when a matter comes to me, I'll think about whether it's civil or criminal. Depending on that, I study the case, I prepare a basic summary or resume, I give it to the counsel, and I will tell this is what I feel. Depending on the client's financial capacity, I will decide who the counsel. And also, first I give you the option, asking the client whether you have any counsel to retain. If he says no, and sometimes if a client come and say, I know X or Mr. Y counsel, he is the president's counsel, then I tell him politely, he is absolutely a fantastic counsel, but this is a civil matter, criminal counsel is not good for that. But if the client insists to go through the counsel, because always I abide by the client's decision. But the paramount thing that you have to think about is when a client comes to you, end of the day, if you are an independent practitioner, your entire career is depending on the satisfaction that made to the client. So therefore, It's not the counsel, the normal practice of most of the instructing attorney. Why should we study? Counsels are charging very high fees, and therefore let them do the thing, and my job is only to collect the fees, which is not correct. So therefore I think the main reason is that you must know, because you have to satisfy the client. If you are not satisfying the client, there are so many instructing attorneys all over the places, and the client is bound to leave you. So the most important paramount thing, client interest is paramount. And also you have to be very cautious not to have any conflict of interest, especially when a client comes to you, and if you do feel that you can't perform the duty properly, you must inform the client, due to certain personal reasons I can't. And very often I come across where there are certain instances where the instructing attorney has links with the plaintiff side as well as the defendant side, which is absolutely unprofessional. And also this is, as I think I have lectured a number of times in regard to this professional ethics too. In a civil action, once you file a proxy, it's a money spinner, as long as you do your job properly. If you don't do your job properly, the proxy will come like a death warrant, because your license gets cancelled. It's a noble profession, so there you have to work hard. It's not built overnight, hard way of life. Just to give you a little background that may be relevant at this point of time, as I told you earlier, I joined the law college in the year 1977. On the very same year, Sri Lanka, we had a riots, and I got caught to the riots. All my books were burned, and with all the thing, I managed to get first class and got through. Similarly, in 1983, no sooner I got into the career, within a spell of 3 years, I got caught to the 83 riots. Everything was, what I had was burned, except for the clothing what I am wearing. But of course, my brain was not burned, and therefore I managed to in this position. Twice I went through the communal riots, and with all the thing there, being a Tamil, studied in single medium, but I never had any kind of a hatred at all. I followed the Buddha Dhamma, Nahi Verena Verani, and I didn't hate anybody, or I loved anybody. I loved everyone, cared everyone, and I start now. In fact, at the moment I'm lecturing in law college, most of the law students there. So what I advise, but the main thing what I advise anybody is, as an instructing attorney, the most important paramount thing, the client is yours. Therefore you have to work hard and deliver the goods. If you do not work, there are so many people waiting around to take the client.
Yes, I'm sure, because if you satisfy your client within your professional limits, he will come back to you whenever he has a case, even 30-40 years afterwards. Even that client's children might come to you as long as you do the right job. Sir, it is very clear that you came, as you said, not from an easy path to this level. And it was, in fact, you are is a good example to the students, and it's a proud to the profession to have a person in this level today having that kind of troublesome period. What is your final advice to law students, particularly those who are thinking that they will, when they come to the profession, they will start as a registered attorney? What is your final advice for them, sir?
First and foremost, I must tell you, as I told you earlier also, it's a noble profession. So the most important thing is, when you get into the profession as a lawyer, people will look upon you, a man with a caliber, a person with a quality, a person with a standard. You have to live up to the expectation. If anybody thinks this is a money-making profession, it won't last long. It's a very short time of thing. It's a very valuable profession, because your problem is to solve others' problem. So to solve others' problems, the most important thing what you have to do is, you must not have unwanted problem in your mind. A, you must have a good family life. B, you must have a good character. C, that you must be able to work hard and dedicated. The fourth thing, you must enjoy the profession. If you don't enjoy the profession, if you are doing it as a job, you will only have the job satisfaction, you will never do that. The clients, even the cases, when it's over, what I do is, as a matter of every day, I take my files, go through, and even in the night I will call clients and tell, look, I went through the matter, I gave certain advice to you, but I'm having a second thought on the matter. Clients are so, sometimes I think whether clients will have a wrong impression. He said, sir, we are very happy, you are thinking of us late in the night also. So you see, you know, end of the day, you are living on client's money. So it's a paramount duty of you to make the client happy, and also work hard. The hard way that you earn will last long. If you make your earning in a quick way, in a wrong way, it will never last long. And also it's very, very important to the young generation, I must say, they must follow the professional ethic, which is very badly lacking in today's context. That is very, very important.
So thank you very much. You shared some valuable experience and advice, not only for the law student, I think for the lawyers as well. This is very valuable advice. I once again thank you for joining with me on this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.